Hey guys, welcome back to Gringo Barbecue. I just made this beautiful rack of ribs in 3 hours and it's a Wednesday night. These are my weekday ribs. Let's dive in.
Barbecue and tequila.
Hey guys, welcome back. All right, I am excited for today. This was one of the first videos that I wrote down when I was first coming up with ideas and laying out the game plan for Gringo Barbecue, because these are ribs that only take 3 hours to make, but they are delicious. Will be the perfect texture as far as sticking on the bones when we wiggle it, but pulling as soon as we, pulling off the bone as soon as we go to take a bite. So it is currently a Wednesday, just after 4 o'clock, and I feel like some ribs. I feel like firing up the smoker tonight, having some smoked meat, and I didn't want to wait till the weekend. This is the perfect plate for that. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. First thing we're gonna do, these are really easy to trim up. This is a nice rack of St. Louis ribs. This cartilage here, guys, it's not even really cartilage, it's meat, but this isn't gonna cook super evenly. So I'm gonna go ahead and just off of one of the last bones, like right in here, I'm just gonna square it off. Now, this might feel like wasted meat. You could go ahead and cook that if you'd like. There's also a lot of things you can do with this. I'm still gonna throw this on the smoker. To be honest with you, what I mostly do with this is my dog Sharky, who you've seen in a couple of videos. He eats really good in this household. So I'm most likely gonna pick this apart, give it to him. But this is still meat that you could make a quesadilla with or some sort of pulled pork sandwich just by piecing it apart. So set that off to the side, make sure you don't throw that away. And then just on this side, I'm just gonna trim it up just a little bit. It honestly looks fine. You don't gotta do too much to this, but I'm just looking for any extra meat that's a little, or fat that's a little extra. So there, that's fine there. And then now I'm gonna flip it over. Now guys, before the video started, I went ahead and pulled the membrane off. Just take a paper towel, pluck away at the corner and then rip it off. I highly recommend doing this. I've tried making ribs with the membrane on. I just don't think it tastes very good. So I always go ahead and rip that off. Some people can score the back of it. We could still do that. Honestly, I don't really think it makes a difference either way. But if you want to score your ribs, you can definitely do that on the back. It doesn't hurt. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that. All right, and then there's no real excess fat. I'm gonna just take this guy off here, trim it off. Nothing too crazy. So that's the one nice thing with ribs. We did a brisket video a couple weeks ago, and there's quite a bit of trimming that goes into a brisket. With St. Louis ribs, keep it simple. Just make it look neat, square it off. All right, let's dive into seasoning. So I always like to use a binder when I am making ribs. And guys, I came across this about 3 years ago, and this is my new binder. I actually use Chick-fil-A sauce. A lot of people use mustard. You can go ahead and use mustard, but for whatever reason, my best ribs have come from when I've used the Chick-fil-A sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and just spray that on there. It's just essentially Chick-fil-A sauce is just like some mayo. It's like a smoked mayo basically. So that's why I smoked mayo barbecue. I think it goes delicious on there. And then I'm also gonna try this. My buddy Justin in Charleston sent me that care package box, and this is the first time trying that rub. So this is Home Team Barbecue, a dry rub out of Charleston that they say goes great with pork. So we're gonna go ahead and give that a try. Ooh, a little slippery. All right, I'll have to wash the glass out later, but anywho, all right, one thing with this, guys, is it doesn't have the lid to shake it out. If you are having a shaker, make sure you shake from higher up to get even seasoning. So I'm gonna try to replicate that with this. I'm gonna lay some on here. Spread that out. Comes out a little bit quicker, obviously, without having that on the back, or without having that shaker, rather. All right, but just gonna lather it up decently, nothing too crazy. This is the back side underneath. I still like to season this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over. All right, so here's the top part. We're gonna do the exact same thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that Chick-fil-A sauce. Look at the marbling on this meat. It looks really good. And this was just something I bought from the store. My wife and I, this will feed both of us, no problem. This was like $14 at the store, and I don't know about you, but I love a good rack of ribs. All right, go ahead and do the exact same thing. Yeah, starting to even out now that I've gotten into the jar a little bit. Gonna go ahead and lather that on there. This color looks great though. It's gotta have some sort of paprika in it. Woo. This is why I like to have a little bit of a shaker in the top, to be honest with you. I'm excited to try this rub, but I wish they did have better packaging. Just because it's a little hard to sprinkle it on there. All right, Let's go ahead and do that. All right. So guys, let me run you through the game plan because the next time I see you, we're gonna be about an hour and 15 minutes into the cook. So what I'm gonna do for these ribs, these are gonna cook in 3 hours from the time they go on to the time they finish. I'm gonna let this sit for 15, 20 minutes while I fire up my smoker. I'm gonna fire up my smoker to 275 degrees and I'm gonna lay this on the middle rack. So I will see you guys in an hour and 15 minutes when we are spritzing. Hey guys, welcome back to the tundra. I haven't seen you outside in a minute and I kind of miss it. So we're out here. It's actually a really nice and balmy 27 degrees. So we're getting there. Last time I saw you, it was like -7. So feels kind of nice out right now. So we're an hour and 15 minutes into this cook at 275 degrees. This is when I like to spray it for the first time. You know, I got 2 kids in the house. If you don't have apple cider vinegar, grab some apple juice. I'm sure you have that. Otherwise, grab a beer out of your fridge. You could spritz it with that. Honestly, spritz it with whatever you want. We just want some sort of moisture. I'm going with a 50-50 mix of water and apple cider vinegar. I'm going to open it up here and just give it a nice little spritz. Nothing crazy. I just got this spritzer on Amazon. I like it because, just so you, I don't know if you can see this, but it fans out a little bit. Just a nice little spritz here. We're gonna be back. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. Look at Sharky, piece of meat there. Yeah, I know, Sharks. What do you think? Yeah, one of his favorites. All right, I'm not gonna let this pit cool down too much. I'm gonna see you guys when we're at the 2-hour mark. Like I said, we're hour and 15 minutes in. All right, see you soon. We are 2 hours into the cook. Like I said, last time we did a spritz at an hour 15. We let it run another 45 minutes. So we're 2 hours in at 275 degrees. What I have here is a 1/2 stick of butter and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. What I'm gonna do is and 2 wraps of tinfoil. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take my meat out. First off, look at that. And I am going to go meat side down over the brown sugar and butter. So meat side down, go ahead and close this. And then I am going to wrap from here and throw it back in the smoker for 1 hour. So like I said, 1/2 stick butter, 1/4 cup brown sugar. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this and throw it back on for 1 hour. And then in 1 hour, I could either take it out and have these ribs just as is with the glaze from the brown sugar and the butter. But I'm personally gonna come back out in an hour and slap some barbecue sauce on it. So I'll see you guys soon. All right, the ribs are done. We actually are about 45 minutes into that last hour of being wrapped. I came outside to check them because my wife's getting hungry. And just wanted to see if they were probe tender / kind of starting to see the bone peel back from the meat, and they are. So I tempt them, they're at 206 degrees, and so I'm gonna pull them off. So let's go ahead and snag these. Now, one thing I do, guys, you could take these ribs, let me peel this back. You could take these ribs and eat them right away. They are ready to eat. You could go ahead and pour that butter and brown sugar right over top if you'd like to do that. What I actually like to do though is I'm gonna take these and put them back on here. Man, I wish you could see this up close. It looks so good. I'm gonna take these and put them back on here. And I'm actually gonna take the barbecue sauce that we're gonna have tonight. This is Meat Church's Holy Cow with Traeger, one of my favorites. And I'm gonna lather this back on there and let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes back on the smoker. Let's see. I forgot my tool to mix it on, but no big deal. Just gonna go ahead and hit it with the back of the tongs here. And like I said, I'm gonna let these cook on here for 15, 20 more minutes, let that barbecue sauce tack up, and I will see you downstairs in the studio when these are ready to be. All right, we are back inside and I am so hungry for these ribs. These look amazing. I mean, look at those guys. It is a Wednesday night and we made ribs that look this good. And it only took us 3 hours. So just a quick recap, I'll leave the link in the description below on how to do this. But we did 2 hours at 275 degrees unwrapped, then wrapped it in brown sugar and butter and foil for 1 hour, meat side down, back in the grill. These finished a little bit early. They finished in 45 minutes. And then I tacked them with some barbecue sauce and put them back on for 15 minutes. So total cook time for this rack of ribs was only 3 hours. And we got to dive into it. But first, let me hold that up and show you guys. Look how good that looks. All right, let's go for it. So you can see the bone starting to pull away from the meat. Great sign that those are done. I'm going to go ahead and grab a center cup for us. Just slice right down there. And then let's grab this off this end here. All right, center cut. You only get the money shot once. Look at that, guys. Look how good that looks. Nice little smoke ring around there, only 3 hours. Big things with ribs is we don't want a weird mushy consistency. You can see I can flap these around and the meat doesn't pull off, but wait till you see this. When I take a bite of this, the meat's gonna pull right from the bone. I mean, look at that, guys. Perfectly clean off the bone. Oh man. I almost just want to take a moment to savor this. These are so good. I'm gonna wash it down with that blueberry basil tequila spritz that I made. I'll make sure to link that video in the end if you haven't seen it. This is an awesome cocktail for barbecue. I mean, look at that, guys. Perfectly off the bone. Let's take another bite. Just a clean bite. Meat is the perfect texture. Guys, ribs don't have to be complicated. They don't have to be super long. I made these in 3 hours with a few simple steps, and I'm happy I got to show you guys how. So, as always though, I genuinely appreciate you guys watching. Please feel free to like or subscribe. Leave a comment if you tried ribs a different way, or if you're never tried it this way and you're gonna give it a shot. So, as always guys, appreciate you watching. Until next time, bye.